Of course, as you go through the regular season, you want that bye. For a lot of reasons, it means you're the top seed. It means you'll have a chance to rest up, maybe heal up, depending on where things stand on the roster. But there is always that threat. You know, Maine does come in here with some momentum. A pair of 2-1 victories, including in the America East quarterfinal against New Hampshire, whereas Binghamton has been trying to simulate kind of game intensity here these past 11 days.
Absolutely. I think the bye earns you a lot of time to rest and, reevaluate what you want coming into postseason. But like you said, that momentum that Maine has carrying into can really carry far. And we've seen that, right, in the last two performances of Maine in postseason. They've channeled that momentum and won two, back-to-back titles. So
Megan Baker to throw in for Binghamton. All-America East second team. Megan Baker, again, just a number of honorees. Paige Luke sends this one ahead. Ehrenberg with the stop.
Yeah, I think it's important to mention Paige Luke's, ACL comeback this season. She just, had her 1 year post-surgery, and, obviously a member of the first team all-conference. She's been a steady force in her fitness and her work ethic, and, coming back from an ACL surgery is remarkable in itself. So I think, that's important to mention, too, as we look at this game.
She was injured in Binghamton University's America East opener last season against Maine. Mm-hmm. She'd been playing the midfield last season. The numbers really weren't up to Paige Luke standards because she had a different role. Came back this season to play up front. You mentioned her fitness. She came back from her injury, set a program record in the fitness test. I'm sure breaking your record.
Of course.
And Neil Bhattacharjee said, sometimes it's the coach. It's up to us to inspire players. This is an instance where the player has inspired the rest of the team the way she was able to come back and be ready to go right from the jump. And again, you mentioned her season, first team All-America East, 6 goals, 6 assists on the season.
Yeah, absolutely. She's had a wonderful comeback season, and everyone admires her hard work. And it's not easy, as anyone who's gone through an ACL knows. So I think her teammates definitely admire and look up to that.
Just a couple of minutes into this one. Team still feeling each other out. Have yet to see a shot or shot on goal as Baker gets set to throw for Binghamton.
Yeah, I think this game we can, look to see Megan Baker get up and down that line. She's consistently, put in crosses, had a lot of assists this season, all conference second team. I could see her making an impact, getting up and down that line.
Baker 4 assists on the season for Binghamton. Here's Luke, slides that one ahead. Of course, Paige Luke and Jakaya Davis have been a dangerous tandem. Davis near the box as this one goes wide. That one put on by Olaya Blanco.
Maine is going to look to build out here. That's part of their game plan, is to move the ball. They're a very physical team, but they're also well in possession.
Maine will maintain possession. Throw coming up. Slowly making their way up the field. A couple of throws gets it to midfield. And Maine will have a chance to throw this one in again. On the throw for the Black Bears, Hillary Washington. Transfer from Baylor University. Spent her freshman season last season in Waco. Off the foot of Reinwald. Second team All-America East, Louise Reinwald.
Yeah, she's been a steady force in the midfield for Maine. She plays that center defensive midfield, but gets into the attack, has seen assists and goals this season as well. So she's a strong force in the Black Bears midfield.
The one thing you can say about Maine this season, it has been balanced scoring. It hasn't been abundant scoring, although we've talked about coming into this game, 2 goals in 4 of their last 5, and that's been a jump up since earlier in the year. But there are good players. There isn't necessarily that Abby Kramer who we've seen in this Maine jersey, that one player to really have to game plan specifically against when they have it in the attacking end.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting talking about Abby Kramer. She was obviously, striker of the year, a wonderful goal scorer, assist. She changed the game for Maine, but I think it's interesting to watch a team adjust after they lose a star player like that. They have to now use more players. They have to find different people to assist, score goals, finish in the attacking third. So it's always interesting watching a team adjust from a star player kind of moving on.
Washington sent it wide, setting this chance up from the corner, swept away, and now Washington again on it for Maine. Actually, check that. That was Thornton on it for the Black Bears. And for the second time in that sequence, Blanco gets it out of danger for Binghamton. Worrell trying to chip that free for the Bearcats. Worrell, great numbers for her this season with the 3 goals for Binghamton, but you hate to say maybe the forgotten player up front for Binghamton with what Paige Luke and Jakaya Davis has done, but Neil Bhattacharjee has never been shy about talking about Alexis Worrell, the sophomore, and her contributions up front as she brings a physical presence there. Luke and Davis both play very well off of her.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's hard when you're playing with 2 star players like Jakaya and Paige, but Alexis's physicality, her work ethic, really shines through in doing kind of the gritty work to get Paige and Jakaya those attacking moments.
Officially one shot by Binghamton, not on goal. It was wide. Chip to Ali Victoriano. Victoriano, a member of the all-rookie team, just announced this week. Victoriano, along with Sydney Krempowski, 2 all-rookie team members for Binghamton there. Victoriano could not carry as on the interception, Panett brings it to midfield. Blanco meets up with her. Gets it loose, but Reinwald on it for Maine.
Yeah, Jordan Panett here on the right side of the field. She's a senior. She's been an attacking force for Maine her entire career, and I think it's going to be interesting to see, her against the freshman Ali Victoriano, and see kind of who wins that battle this half.
You see the passing between the center backs for Maine. It's been an issue this season for the Black Bears because of injury, but Olivia Grisdale, Megan Bernetti really stepping in for Maine. Chip just wide here, that off the foot of Panett. It's never easy to suffer an injury anywhere, but you have 2 concentrated in one area. That really raises some question marks. But Scott Atherley, head coach for Maine, singing the praises of Grisdale and Bernetti here this season. In fact, in some ways, with the emergence of Grisdale, who had been a bench player for the most part earlier this season, now playing a full 90, he likes the way that they're organized now back there. And sometimes change can be good, even if it comes in an unwanted way due to injury. Here's Davis. A threat every time she touches. This one chipped to Luke. This one coming wide of the cage. Davis is there, though, and she'll pop this one up out of play.
Yeah, I think going back to your point of change can be good when, you're playing in a, playing in a Division I soccer game, right? You're going to have, injuries, right? For Binghamton, you had Brooke Herber get injured, and, they're always going to be a factor.
So Baker trying to start that one up, finding Davis on the far side. Obviously, that one didn't come close to the net, but you have to imagine enough chances in that area. Something's going to set up pretty well for Binghamton if they can continue to get down there.
Yeah, absolutely. Games are won and lost in the 18-yard boxes, so it's going to be who wins those battles on both sides of the field tonight is going to win the game.
Well, Maine's trying to get there right now. Again, haven't seen a ton of chances as of yet. Reinwald on the far side hands this one off and bouncing wide. It's Rebecca Kessler in goal for Binghamton. Julie Losas with the chance, bouncing wide. There's a look at Kessler, second team All-America East this season. Kessler on the season. Some impressive numbers. Davis trying to keep this one in, can't do it. You look at the stats for Kessler, .86 goals against, .786 save percentage this season. Something Neil Bhattacharjee mentioned just a couple of weeks ago is that she's been great, but she's had a lot taken off of her plate because of the great play of the back line for Binghamton. We mentioned Sophia Garofalo, America East Defender of the Year, and it always helps. Although right now Maine trying to get past that back line is Ames. Or check that, that was Pinette trying to make a move on Victoriano. And now goes out in the corner. And here's Pinette. So both Victoriano and Blanco getting close for Binghamton. Reinwald slides this one back. Washington gets it to midfield. Victoriano slides. Pinette trying to send it across, but Falvo able to knock it out of play.
Yeah, and I think, this is where we're starting to see Maine's momentum kind of start to play, right? Binghamton's going to have to get adjusted a little bit. They haven't played in 11 days, as we mentioned. They've got to get the rhythm, get their feet, get the nerves out of their system, where Maine is kind of coming off this momentum, and we can kind of start to see that as they're getting into the attacking third a little bit here.
2 shots, both for Binghamton, none on goal. As we're 11.5 into this one. Again, America East semifinal. Luke picks this one up. Laurel trying to chip it back. Reinwald gets it out of danger for Maine. Winner of this contest takes on the winner of Vermont and Bryant. Sunday at 1 o'clock. At the highest remaining seed, Bryant the 6th seed. So if Bryant wins, they would head on the road. Pinette sends this one across. Past the head of Blanco for Binghamton, trying to break it up. Kessler is there. Chance on cage by Clausel. All right, check that. That was Abby Thornton. Thornton, 3 goals this season, matching her total from last season.
Both these teams looking to play, out wide, use the wings, find crosses, not looking to really thread through the middle. So it's going to be a lot of work for those outside backs and outside forwards, and making sure the center forwards kind of hold the ball up and are able to dish it out.
Davis for Binghamton, bumping along with Washington. There's a whistle, and Maine with possession.
Both these teams going to be very physical. It's a semifinal game, and everything's on the line. So it's going to be a battle tonight.
And I think as the longer we stay scoreless, maybe the physicality might ramp up here. Both of these teams looking to get a breakthrough chance here in the first half. Victoriano looking to chase this one down for Binghamton. Instead bounces to Falvo in the air. Victoriano able to play it. Blanco sends it ahead, picked off. But back on it, back line, Falvo for Binghamton.
Allison Falvo doing a wonderful job at that left center back position with Brooke Herber being out. She was, a captain. She really kind of held down the defense last year, so Falvo stepping in at that center back position. She's been really, really strong and solid back there.
And they saw a good play on the far side of the back line for Binghamton. Defender of the Year, Sophia Garofalo. Garofalo, all-rookie team in America East as a freshman, first team All-America East as a sophomore, now as a junior, the Defender of the Year in America East.
Yeah, watching her progression has been, really awesome to see. It coming as a freshman, kind of getting your feet and then kind of improving, and that's what any coach wants to see out of a player.
Belanger sends it back, and now Maine looking to build. Pinette will give and go. Pinette gets this one back from Thornton, sent it across, bouncing around through traffic, but not that back line. Falvo got a piece. in the air. A pair of Bearcats converging. Washington keeps it alive for Maine. This will give it back to the Bearcats.
Offsides there, Binghamton, right, lack of communication, not being able to talk through that there defensively, but lucky enough to get away without a shot on goal. Maine doing a really good job of holding the ball up, dishing it out to the players coming in behind them, and looking to hopefully get something in the next couple, in this half.
There's Blanco. NAIA transfer from University of the Cumberlands. Made a nice transition here to Division I college soccer this season as a graduate transfer.
Yeah, she's had a great impact for the Bearcats in that midfield position. Controlling it, making sure they keep their possession, play their kind of style.
Garofalo got some length on that one. Krumposki a touch for Binghamton. Again, Krumposki and Victoriano, the two All-America East All-Rookie members. On the far side, Reinwald for Maine.
Again, you'll see Maine using the sideline to advance forward and hopefully continue to get those crosses into the box to their center forwards.
Washington works this one back. That's not a cross, but it could hit into a dangerous spot for Maine. Panette waits for it. Off for a foot, the same with Reinwald. Laurel looking to turn, now she'll send it back. Luke heads this one ahead. Davis doesn't have numbers, a little bit of space, looks for some help. Good work by Bernetti to take it away.
And I think Jillian, is doing a great job as main center forward to kind of pop off, hold the ball, kind of playing like that Abby Kramer style of being able to, hold it up, not have those kind of balls go astray and keep it for her team. And that possession has led them to a lot of scoring chances.
Maine two-time defending America East champs. 17 returning players this season for Maine. But something that their head coach Scott Athley pointed out is that their two center backs from last year had more combined collegiate minutes than the 17 players returning combined. So yes, a good number of returning players, but a lot of these players in new roles this season. And that's something that can work a couple of different ways. One way that Maine hopes is that you get better as the year goes along.
Yeah, and I think as a coach, that's what you want, right? You want your players to grow and advance, and hopefully they've been doing their job in practice and training and spring games that they're ready for the fall. They're prepared for when they do get those minutes.
Berenberg gobbles that one up for Maine. Panette waits for that one. Victoriano on her. Off of Victoriano.
And as you mentioned, with the Blackers being two-time defending champs, they have a lot of confidence coming into this game. They know what it's like to be here. They know kind of what the pressure is, and Binghamton, a lot of new players in different positions stepping up. Maybe a little bit nerves in this first half too.
Panette hands it off to Washington, throws it in. Panette, nice touch, finding Reinwald. Blanco for Binghamton. Davis. Panette one-on-one with Victoriano, gets it by her, but not by Blanco, who sends it out of play.
Yeah, great coverage there, knowing that Panette is going to go 1v1. She's going to take her space, whether that's end line or into the middle, so good coverage there.
Washington from the sideline. Pinette gets it in the air, but Blanco tracks it down for Binghamton. Washington in the air. Good work to head that one away. Baker gets it to midfield. Luke tried to carry ahead. Is Grisdale. Here's Luke. Worrell giving chase. Keeps it in play. Baker some distance on this one. Luke the header. Davis at the foot of the goal. Could not get that one by. At the doorstep. Now this comes out. So we've seen Baker both ends of the field.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Baker's going to continue to get up and down that wing. She's had multiple assists this year, second team, all-conference member.
That's one bouncing out of play. Actually does stay in play. And that one heads out. Well, the America East Women's Soccer Championship is presented by Jersey Mike's, a proud supporter of America East Women's Sports. Jersey Mike's, a sub above. Paige Luke. Off to Davis. Always dangerous to double Luke when Davis is about 7 feet away.
Yeah, they're a hard duo to cover, right? Who do you step to? When do you give them space? They're dynamic there and their interchangeability.
And a giveaway there. Garofalo, nice job stepping up for Binghamton, thwarting what could have been a rush by the Black Bears. Looking to reset here. Falvo a touch. Garofalo able to keep that one in.
This has been a very back and forth game this half. I think both teams, having their moments, having, their time to get up, get chances, also having their time to defend really hard and keep the ball away from their net.
Along the far sideline, as you mentioned, Tori, the Black Bears not afraid to use that sideline to try to advance the ball. This time, Belanger gets it back to midfield. Here's Washington, one-on-one with Davis. Victoriano able to step in front of that one, headed for Pinette.
Yeah, and when you play in the America East Conference, every game is going to be close, right? Like, throughout the regular season, a lot of tight games, 1-1s, 2-1s, 3-2s, things like that. So especially heading into postseason, it's going to be a tight race to see who comes away with the championship.
Again, the Bearcats undefeated in conference play, but 5-0-3, so 3 of their 8, even as the top seed. 3 of those 8 games in America East ties.
Absolutely, and a lot of their wins, close wins, with 2-1s, things like that. So it has come down to one goal, one moment, right? So that's what this game's going to come down to as well, is those kind of small moments of who can step up and be that special player to either make a big save or make a big finish.
Madison Michaud comes in for Pinette. Victoriano gets that out of danger, at least for the moment. Well, we saw Pinette active on the right side of the Maine offense, and Michaud is in there right now. We'll see if they try to work it to her as they did Pinette.
I'm sure they will, especially with fresh legs coming in, against Victoriano. You're always going to want to get your fresh legs running at, the back line, seeing if they can create chances, find crosses.
Baker and Krempowski, the double team on Locious. Neil Bhattacharjee saying one thing Krempowski has provided as this season's gone along, a physical presence. She needed the preseason, the first few games to really get going. She's been a great addition as the season's gone along to this Bearcat rotation.
Absolutely, and it's always hard to come in as a freshman and compete, but I think she's kind of found her footing. Composure, right, is going to be key, especially when the pace of play heightens, and I think she's found that here.
Alvo has it. Kessler takes it.
Maine's going to sit back in and defend, hold their shape. This is kind of how they defend as a unit. They're not going to press. They're not going to get themselves tired. Binghamton has more of a high press. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see if Binghamton can break down this shape that Maine keeps in their defensive abilities.
Victoriano gets it in the air. Luke works that one to the far side. Megan Baker. She's bumping on that far side along with Clausel. And Clausel gets it free for Maine. Dungy sends it to the sideline and out of play.
Now that both teams have settled into this half, it's really going to come down to those moments where they're able to keep possession and build, right? Binghamton has found moments, but not kind of consecutive passes going forward, which is what they're kind of looking for, to find those moments of brilliance from maybe a Paige Luke or a Ja'Kai Davis.
Baker looking for an outlet.
This is where Maine does a really, really good job of holding their shape, making sure Binghamton doesn't have that outlet to play through.
And now it's Luke, a little stutter step as she looked to advance. Down to the turf, a bit slow in getting up, but she does make it. Black Bears looking to advance. Victoriano steps in the way. Here's Michaud after it.
And that's your defender of the year right there, and Sophia Garofalo, has a great chance, but she's not going to get by when Sophia's going to slide there.
It was Rovers on the advance. Here's Reinwald off to Michaud. Washington a bit of space. Davis fills that space. And Victoriano sends it out of play.
Good composure there from Binghamton under pressure to kind of get the ball out of their area.
Michaud got a piece for Maine. Now she'll watch that one head out of bounds. And it's going to be a substitution coming in for Binghamton. Sam Allen. Sam Allen is coming in, heading out for the Bearcats. Megan Baker.
Yeah, I think when you have, a Megan Baker who likes to get up and get those crosses, you're going to need, right, to get her a sub and have somebody be able to defend there. And that's what Binghamton wants. They want their outside backs getting forward, getting crosses in the box, helping their attack. So, it's important to make sure that, you're getting subs for fresh legs.
Baker's been a nice jolt off the bench, especially second half of the season for Binghamton. And they might need a jolt right now. Again, no score here. 17 minutes left to go in the first half. America East semifinal.
Yeah, I think both teams are looking a little flustered, trying to regain their composure and keep the ball. But, in these moments where it's a must-win, right, it's hard to keep your composure.
Victoriano to throw. Luke in a double team. Maine has not been shy about getting personnel up on Paige Luke in this one.
No, absolutely not. And as they know, right, what Paige Luke can do, and Ja'Kai Davis as well. So they're gonna double team, put pressure where they can put pressure, not allow them a chance to turn and shoot, knowing they both can shoot from distance. As well as Anna Buckwalter, right, being co-midfielder of the year. She's had a lot of shots from distance that have snuck past different goalies, so they're definitely going to want to refrain from letting them shoot from distance.
Garofalo connecting, bumping, midfield. Garofalo might be slow in getting up. Rovers stayed up for Maine, but she might need a minute as well. In fact, she'll head to a knee. So Trainer's coming out.
And knowing Garofalo, she's going to want to get back in this game as soon as she can. But, with concussion protocol, both of these players, I'm sure, are going to have to come out and get seen before they head back into the game.
Now we see Garofalo bleeding as she heads off. Rovers staying on at midfield. Take a look at the collision again. Garofalo playing the ball, and as was Rovers, and Garofalo got some of the ball, and unfortunately some of Rovers as well.
And that's going to happen when both teams are going to get physical, right? Especially in soccer when, you know, you have to win those headers, right? If it gets in behind, Maine is going to have a chance to score. So Sophia's going to have to do everything she can to stop that. And Maine as well is going to want to look for a chip in behind with the head. And, you know, collisions like that can happen when, you know, especially, you know, people are coming out wanting to compete, wanting to win this game.
Freshman midfielder Britta Denny is in for Maine.
She recently had her first goal on the season, and you know, I think Maine is looking to continue to push goals from her, see her get in behind, right, shoot from distance, things like that. And I think, you know, as young as she is in her career, it's going to be interesting to watch her as she further develops.
Sam Allen drifting back to the back line.
Hoping Garofalo will be okay and we'll be able to finish this game out, but we'll see, and we'll let you guys know as things change.
Brotherston is in for Garofalo, but it's Allen who moves to the back line. Brotherston in the midfield for, well, at least let's see how this plays out, actually. Both free subs for injuries, by the way. Denny and Brotherston. Across, but out of play. Ellie Victoriano. We've seen her on the left side of the offense for Binghamton as the Bearcats came across midfield. They're kind of taking that Megan Baker spot.
Yeah, and you're going to see those defenders from Binghamton continue to press, right? You just saw, you know, Victoriano step up in the front third of the half, and they're going to continue to put pressure on. That's part of their game plan. That's how they defend.
Trying to sneak a peek down to the sideline for Garofalo, still being tended to. Davis after it for Binghamton, but Bernetti able to sweep it away. Out of play. Victoriano heads to the far sideline, looking to set it up for the Bearcats. Binghamton resetting at midfield. Falvo.
Just under 15 minutes here left in the first half. Both teams are going to want to look to hopefully put one away before we get to half. I think both coaches are going to, you know, be impressed with the defending, you know, the chances from both teams, but someone's got to kind of step up and put one in the back of the net.
This one bouncing out of play, giving chase for the Bearcats. They're going to make a play on that one, and it just kind of got out of her reach. Paige Luke. Grisdale.
Maine here looking to build out, but Binghamton's pressure is going to hinder them from that. So it'll be interesting to see if Maine switches up how they build out of the back in the second half.
Brotherston, freshman midfielder, missed some time in the middle of the season due to injury, but her return really gave this Bearcat team a boost as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think both teams have navigated some injuries in and out of the season, and that's going to happen with every team competing, right? When you're playing in such a small amount of time, you know, most seasons lasting around 3 months, and playing, you know, close to 18 games.
Buckwalter, nifty shift as she sends it wide with the left foot. Little cross up here. It was wide, but it was a strong chance by Buckwalter.
And that's exactly what Maine's going to want to avoid, right, is those shots from distance from Buckwalter or Luke. They're going to have to step and put more pressure on there if they don't want kind of shots like that happening in the second half.
Victoriano on the throw. And now 3 jerseys near Luke. It's Davis with it. Buckwalter settles.
Maine doing a nice job here of keeping their composure, defending, like you said, putting multiple jerseys on Paige Luke as she gets forward.
Krumposki broken up.
This is what Maine does well, keeping their composure defensively, gaining possession, and looking to build up forward through using the sidelines.
Michaud could not get that one past Brotherston, but Maine maintains possession. Washington to throw it in. Davis couldn't chip that one by Washington. Luke tried to slide that one over to Buckwalter. Brotherston to the box, bouncing, but Berenberg able to grab it.
She's been a great force for Maine as a freshman goalie this season, coming in and really communicating with her back line, who's strong as well, and not letting, a lot of goals sneak in behind her.
Scott Atherley praising her feet, as he says she's very composed and she can break lines with her passing. Sam Allen over to Davis. Davis catching up to it, and there's the stop by Berenberg coming out of the cage. Davis slow off the turf. Risky play there by Berenberg, but it paid off in a big way. Here is Worrell. Buckwalter trying to keep it alive for Binghamton. Couldn't do it.
That's where Alexis Worrell comes in, right? Finding those slip balls into Paige or to Jakaya in that instance, right? Finding that perfect way to the pass where it doesn't run into the goalie, right, but isn't short to a defender. So that was a wonderful pass in there.
For Berenberg, she had to commit. She had to make a decision and stick with it there because, of course, Davis, as dangerous as you get in America East.
And what a save from Berenberg there. It's not easy to come out, right, and make your body as big as you can. Jakaya does a really well job when she's 1v1 with a goalie. So that was a really huge stop there for her.
We remain scoreless. Davis had the game winner against Maine back on October 5th, a 2-1 Bearcat victory. Backline tested here as Falvo heads it down. By the way, on the sideline, Garofalo on her feet talking to the trainers. Falvo gets it to Allen, who works it to midfield. Michaud tracks this one down. One-on-one with Victoriano. Or pardon me, that was Brotherston as Michaud sends it across.
That was a great service in, cutting across, the 6-yard box.
Kessler makes the stop on Reinwald. Well, at the other end of the field, a couple of moments ago, you'll see Worrell. You mentioned her skill sending that to space for Davis, and Berenberg, the slide, the stop, and that's why we are still scoreless.
Yeah, and that's a hard position as a forward, right? When the goalie comes out to either, you take a touch by them or you try to chip it in, right? And when a goalie comes out and makes himself that big, it's really hard to slip it in or make that quick decision. So I think Jakaya did the best she could with that chance.
Bearcats would love another. Here's Allen. Falvo the chip, but intercepted. Denny. Just out of the reach. Would have been a dangerous spot. Still chasing Dungy for Maine. Now down to the turf. Nice job to get that one free, but then taking a big lick. And there's the dive by Kessler as it goes wide.
What a chance that was from Maine, right? Using their physicality, staying calm and composed, and finding a shot when they have the open and opportunity to.
Dungy getting tangled up here. Brotherston. We see Martillo, by the way, coming in for Jakea Davis.
Izzy Martillo, graduate student, 5th year, really started to shine last year as a senior and show her impact to Coach Neil Bhattacharjee, and I think she's done a wonderful job. Had a great goal-winning goal against UNH, and she'll bring a lot of spark to this game as, somebody who this could potentially be her last game.
Versatile player as well. Nice move by Buckwalter. Martillo, fresh legs, giving chase. Berenberg plays that one ahead. And Martillo coming in with 7 minutes left in the half, so she's got plenty in the tank. And not much time to empty it. Rysdale.
Maine doing a great job here of keeping possession. After scoring chances, it's easy to let your guard down and continue to push forward, but they're doing a great job of keeping their composure, taking their chances, one at a time.
Michaud on the throw. Blanco heads it down. The slide by Martillo. Luke. Buckwalter can't make a play as Dungy takes it away. Back in front. It is Denny, and the tackle there to get it free for Binghamton, Sam Allen.
That's a big-time play right there from Sam Allen with Sophia Garofalo being out. Someone to step up and make those big tackles, right? Just step up in a big-time game like this is hard to do, so that was a really big tackle there. Offsides there. Young freshman, coming off as a striker, having to come and check in, having to check her shoulder there will be important to make sure that those scoring chances aren't missed in the future.
Here is Allen. Four shots for Binghamton, 3 for Maine, but the Black Bears with the shot on goal advantage, 2-1.
And I think both the teams here have had, chances to score, but I think Maine has dominated in their eagerness to get into that final third, where I think Binghamton's second half is going to come out and hopefully put a lot more pressure on to make it happen for themselves.
Martillo waiting. Never got there as Michaud plays it ahead. Dungy. Allen heads it away. Martillo. And heads out of play. Who's it off? Off of Martillo. Michaud has to go backwards as Brotherston and Martillo quickly met her. Luke trying to get free. Tip back, Buckwalter. Again, she can be dangerous from distance. Works it back to Luke, across to Buckwalter. With the left foot, this one stopped by Berenberg. Second time she's put it on net from distance.
I think Binghamton's doing a nice job of trying to find chances to score, but I think they need to get it, out wide more, really stretch out Maine. They're a strong, solid defense that likes to pack it in and stay composed. So Binghamton's going to have to do a little more to kind of stretch them out in order to have those chances where Maine's kind of thrown off and not completely, on their toes and ready for it.
Approaching 3 minutes left to go in this first half. Substitution coming in for Maine as we have Andre Palmer, freshman forward, in for Julie Lotius.
As you get towards the end of the season, I think coaches are going to want to sub, get fresh legs in, keep it moving, especially with the temperature dropping here in Binghamton. To kind of have girls stay warm, keep their legs fresh is going to be important.
Of course, two teams hailing from areas where chilly temps in November, nothing new.
Yeah, no, they're ready for it.
You no longer have the luxury of running around in temperatures like this.
No, I don't, unfortunately. It was nice, though. I used to, not wear an Under Armour. I was like, it wasn't cold out. Now I'm like in, double, pants and fuzzy socks and boots and all that. I'm like, it's really cold. So I definitely appreciate my parents for sticking out the cold watching me.
If you need to drop the headsets and take a lap, Covered.
Yeah, no, those days are long gone. Long gone.
So now approaching 2 minutes left as Sam Allen gives it back to Falvo.
Really important here for both teams to stay alert, right? These final minutes are where things can happen. Getting right, thinking about the next half or halftime where you got to stay locked in and finish out the half strong.
Buckwalter looking to advance for Binghamton. Getting held up there. Is that what the whistle is? It is not. It will be Maine possession. Grisdale, near side for Washington. Washington builds up speed. Here's Michaud. Washington one touch to the box, steered aside. Washington colliding with Martillo, but Michaud has it. Brotherston.
And this is exactly the moment I'm talking about, right? We're coming down to a minute left in the game. Binghamton's got to stay alert here, ready for a service in the box, not kind of be flat on their feet, and Maine's got to take advantage of it.
Here's Palmer just off the bench.
1 minute remains in the first half of play.
Across. Still near the 18, but Allen with the header. On the wing. Across. Michaud with the left foot and the stop by Kessler.
Maine doing a nice job there of staying spread out, right? Finding that open player there and looking for a service, as you can see here.
Kessler read it nicely off the foot of Michaud.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Looks like the first half will come to an end right here. And at least it seems as though the Bearcats will have to be without the America East Defender of the Year as they look to move on in this America East postseason tournament. Paige Luke ahead to Buckwalter.
And that's what I mentioned, earlier in this half is injuries is a part of the game, and it's going to come down to, big players stepping up that maybe didn't know they had to step up today, and that's going to be seen across the board in all of soccer and Division I sports in general. So I think Sam Allen is going to have to step up in a big role tonight.
Again, out there to start. This one stays in play. Down the far sideline. And now out. Pinette to throw it in. Pinette essentially played the first half of the first half as Michaud came in to play the rest in that spot for Maine.
Yeah, I think both Pinette and Pichot did a really good job of getting crosses in and taking chances.
The box swept away, but now picking it up, Reinwald hands this one off. Pinette, the chance goes wide.
That matchup is going to go on, all half. Pinette versus Victoriano out there.
And Pinette got a skilled offensive player, 6 goals last season. Here's Baker. That one goes out of play. Baker here to throw it in. Buckwalter chips this one back. Krimpowski to Baker. Here's Worrell. Nice play as Worrell tried to advance, but good defensive stop there by Bernetti.
Yeah, Bernetti's been a strong force at that left center back with a lot of composure. I've talked about Maine's defense with a lot of composure, right? Binghamton has scored a lot of goals, and they're staying super composed and keeping their feet while defending.
Meanwhile, Grisdale able to knock that one away from Jakaya Davis. So Grisdale and Bernetti, the unsung heroes, the two who stepped into that center back position. And they're doing the job here to start the second half defensively for Maine on the offensive end. Almost something developing there for the Black Bears, but on the back line for Binghamton. Megan Baker able to send that one away for the Bearcats. Luke looking to advance. Meeting up one-on-one along the far sideline. Good play by Washington to get it out, and she will get control for Maine.
You can hear the Bearcats' home field advantage here coming into play with a lot of noise there on that sideline, and that's where being the number one seed is a huge advantage, especially when it comes to the second half of big games.
Plus, you wonder if it's even colder in Orono right now.
It definitely is. It definitely is. But everyone likes playing at home, and Binghamton has shown at home this season, right? They're undefeated, so pretty impressive.
Baker slides that one down. Worrell bumping, able to keep it alive for the moment for the Bearcats, and that's where the physical play of Worrell really comes in as Palmer slides that one ahead for Maine. It was Palmer really had the angle on that ball, but there it was Worrell who was able to, at least for the moment, keep it alive for the Bearcats. Still doing so here is Paige Luke to Davis. One touch, deflected back. By the way, an update from the other America East semifinal game. Bryant and Vermont, 9 minutes in, are scoreless.
You have Paige Luke's sister, Maddie Luke, playing for Bryant, and that would be an interesting matchup. And if both were advanced to the final, to play your sister in the America East final. So we'll see as that progresses.
Davis, you had the luxury of playing with your sister during your collegiate career. And here is Paige Luke. It's Luke and Davis, essentially 2-on-5. So Luke with two Black Bears by her, looking to keep it alive. Maine with control.
Yeah, unlucky there on Luke. I think, right, her and Jakaya, right, work together, try to combine, play off each other. But Maine is doing a really good job of keeping their composure and double teaming on Luke when they can.
Reinwald sends this one ahead. Quality chances have been at a premium. And wouldn't be surprised to have that trend continue. Scoreless as we start the second. Baker to Allen. Bumps it down and plays it ahead. Again, no Sophia Garofalo to start here in the second half for Binghamton. Baker trying to get that into some space. Worrell follows, gets it in the air. Worrell knocked off. Bearcat sideline wants a whistle, none forthcoming.
Yeah, that looked more like a shoulder-to-shoulder kind of play, but like I said, it's going to continue to get physical, and especially as that clock ticks down.
Victoriano chasing. Victoriano still keeping it alive, and that one deflected out of play. Maine with control. Good work along that far sideline by Grisdale as Victoriano took a nice feed by Jakaya Davis. Davis, we're used to seeing her finish. They're initiating for Binghamton. And Victoriano trying to go 1v1 with Grisdale. Here's Davis with it again. This time across.
I think even in these, first 7 minutes of the first half, Binghamton has showed more composure in that final third. And I think that's exactly what the coaches are looking for, right? Let's not rush it, right? Let's take our time. Let's connect passes. Let's see when we have the opportunity and stop kind of forcing them. And I've seen that in these first 7 minutes.
Baker to throw in for Binghamton. Krempowski couldn't thread it. Chips it loose. Buckwalter over to Baker on the near side. Baker sending it across. Oh, almost a dangerous spot for Binghamton, but in the middle of that one for Maine to get it out of danger. I believe that was Grisdale.
And Maine looking to counterattack there, but not a lot of opportunity with a lot of, Maine defenders holding back. And that's, I think, right, their deficit of being such a strong defense and staying composed is those counterattacks aren't as possible for them as it is for Binghamton.
Well, the America East Women's Soccer Championship is presented by V Venue, the official ticketing partner of the America East.
It's going to be a different way building out of the back without Garofalo there. She has that long ball that looks to play either, Jakaya or Alexis Worrell in behind, but now going to have to build that out and find somebody else.
Worrell maybe has a step here. Worrell across looking for Davis. Luke winds and fires, and that one goes just wide. Bearcats build here.
That was a great ball by Sydney Crampsey coming in to slip it in, and same with Alexis Worrell coming for Anna Buckwalter to strike.
Victoriano a beeline to the ball. It's in the air and into the breadbasket of Barenberg. Locius carries ahead. Locius a step on Allen. Doesn't go across, instead crosses over. And then the block by Krempowski. So Maine a chance to set up.
Krempowski doing a great job on both ends of the ball there, right? So just saw her, almost have that second assist and then work back and continue to play both sides of the ball for her team. That's super important as a midfielder.
Off the throw. Locius in traffic, and looks like that might have gone off. Let's see who that is. Looks like Blanco may have been the one that, or Baker may have been the one that went off of. So.
Yeah, and defending corner kicks is going to be, interesting the second half for Binghamton without Garofalo, right? She's the one who is the target on defensive corner kicks to clear it, so.
On the ground, and that is going to allow Baker to play that one. Grisdale sends it off. Chip free. And offside. Looked dangerous for a moment.
Yeah, Maine's doing a good job of looking to find their center targets and hold the ball up and play off, and that's what they looked for on that corner. But I think that's going to be their game plan in the second half, is to try to find their center forward target, lay it off, and get a shot. They haven't been playing quite as much, so looking to switch it up offensively. Binghamton being patient here, looking to find their time to attack.
Krempowski, again, she sent it with distance last time. That set up a chance by Luke. Worrell takes it away again. Knocked free, but Krempowski on it for Binghamton. Baker bumping. Works it across. Gets by Luke. Davis trying to pick it free. Luke as well. Luke couldn't get it through. Nice stop in front of her keeper. That was Bernetti. And now on the turf. Drawing the whistle. Krempowski for Binghamton. So Krempowski on it. And a little box out.
Yeah, like I said, both teams going to continue to get physical. Both benches here with Maine and Binghamton, right? Getting hyped up, pushing their teammates to do their best and continue to fight for this win. Great job by Megan Baker to continue to find those crosses, get those chances in for Binghamton.
And there's Baker sending it. Krempowski keeps it alive for the Bearcats. Baker. Knocked off. Clausel gets it free. Locious works this one back. And can't keep it in play.
And Binghamton's got to keep up this momentum. This is where they're able to kind of throw off Maine's solid defense. So they need to continue to push and attack and find those gaps where Maine's got to kind of get their composure again. And noticing a substitute here. So it'll be interesting to see.
Martillo went for Worrell for Maine coming in. Grace Johnson for Amanda Clausel. Luke looking to thread the needle of Buckwalter. Back to Martillo. Here's Baker. One touch to send it across. Couldn't get it to Davis. Krempowski. Martillo gets it. Just off the bench, Martillo.
And that's great composure from the fifth year in Isabella Martillo.
Another one goes across. Martillo trying to keep it alive. Krempowski the same does. Krempowski to Baker, and Baker holds off playing that one. Maine will have control.
Yeah, and Binghamton's got to look to play that left side, right? Megan Baker, right? You can't keep playing the same side. She's going to, get tired, need a rest.
Nice play by Martillo to give Krempowski a chance. Instead, Blanco able to play it. Johnson sends it away. Rovers getting a chip for Maine. Now gets to play it again. Rovers. Kessler racing to it and sends it away.
And that's how quick a game can change, right? Binghamton had possession and is down in their half, for 10 minutes. All of a sudden, Maine comes down and can potentially have a goal-scoring opportunity. So Binghamton's defense is going to have to stay on their toes.
Well, we'll see if Maine can build here. Binghamton leading in shots 6-5, but the Black Bears still 3-2 shot advantage. Here's Johnson. Krempowski dug that one loose, and here's Allen to send it, but it'll head out of play.
Maine doing a nice job here. I think they're going to look to hopefully find Jordan Penn in behind, and she had the one chance of the half, and they're probably going to want to try to get her more involved in this, remaining 30 minutes.
Davis turns it upfield for Binghamton, but not too far upfield. Krempowski sends it back. Krempowski sends it to space. Luke in a foot race. Bernetti.
Bernetti doing a nice job of staying composed there and winning the ball back for her team. But Paige Luke is going to put on the pressure. She has done it all season, and she'll continue to track down the ball until that final whistle blows.
Johnson knocks it free. Johnson, a state champion, by the way, in high school in soccer and in the 4x200 relay. So she's got some speed. Here's Locious trying to get some speed going behind that rush. Knocked away, Reinwald comes up with it, at least for the moment for Maine. Krempowski to the turf.
Yeah, Reinwald does that, second team all-conference player. She's going to, show that grit in those moments and do whatever she can to keep the ball for her team, which was shown right here.
So Reinwald is how this chance got set up for Maine. Grisdale lines it up.
Both teams got to be physical here.
A cold night, no breeze as Davis sends this one to the near side.
I think there's a slight breeze, Jason.
Well, it makes it feel a tad cooler, I guess. Every breeze may be a bit exaggerated in this cold weather, but I'm just wondering if that has an effect on the distance of some of these chances as this one comes close and bounces just wide at the doorstep. Looking to turn it back on cage for Maine. Amelia Ames. Or check that, I think that was Michaud on the far side. Bouncing just wide and right there at the doorstep. Just a hair late to get a chance on cage.
Both teams having their chances this half, knocking at the door, and like I said, it's going to come down to composure and who can find the back of the net. Binghamton doing well to keep building out, trying to find their front line, especially without Garofalo there to do it for them.
Here's Luke. Luke trying to thread the needle. Davis giving chase. Once again out of her cage is Berenberg, and Davis knocked it out, but who has possession? Did Berenberg touch last or Davis? They're going to say Davis touched last. The Binghamton sideline arguing tipped by Berenberg. We'll take another look at Davis advancing. Does Berenberg or Davis touch last? Now the other way, Victoriano on it first.
And after that play with that almost, chance for Binghamton, you'll see Bernetti trying to get composure of her defense and remind them of what they need to do to keep Binghamton from having those chances.
Luke chipped it free. Coming deeper, though, into the Binghamton end. Baker knocks it out.
About halfway through the half here. Both teams definitely settled in by now. They both know what they need to do in order to thread the ball in behind and find those chances. They just have to execute now.
This one will stay in play. Luke. Again, Luke now with 3 Bearcats by her.
Yeah, Binghamton gonna need to do a better job there of finding their moments to stay spread out, move the ball, and not kind of leave Paige Luke there alone with 3 men on her.
Oh, Baker was able to block it with her head, but then the play by Bernetti, getting it back to midfield. Pinette on the throw. Pinette stays on it. Here's Johnson. From distance, Johnson heads out of play.
And Maine, is going to take those chances now, right? And if they have the opportunity in the space, right, they're going to have, their outside back stepping in to shoot, and that's what we saw here. Binghamton's got to step out, right, and make sure those shots aren't able to get off. Maine staying composed here in their defensive shape.
Krempowski. Well, you might have the question with Garofalo out, Tori, although now as we say that, Garofalo coming back from at least the locker room. We'll see if she makes it from the sideline. Here's Martillo. Martillo to Davis. Buckwalter. Here's Luke. Martillo has a bit of space. She'll let it go and let Baker take it. Megan Baker. And cage to take that one is Berenberg. But we've seen Krempowski initiate from a spot in the field where maybe we've seen Garofalo in previous times for Binghamton. But now we see Garofalo on the sideline, though, doing some stretching. That could be obviously a big boost to Binghamton if she returns to this game.
Yeah, it looks like she's warming up, but she definitely wants to compete. She's a competitor. So if she comes back in this game, it's going to be interesting.
Davis sends this one ahead. Martillo after it, along with Johnson. Martillo keeps it in play, or did she? No. We have Worrell checking in for Binghamton. She comes in for Davis.
And Davis is just going to have to watch the pace of that pass there, and a little bit smaller, and that could have been a great chance, but Binghamton knocking on that door.
Maine possession. And it does look like Garofalo is set to check in. Michaud couldn't play it ahead. Falls on that one, but Kroposki got it off her foot, but Michaud fell on it. Garofalo comes in for Sam Allen.
And I think Binghamton coaching staff, coaching staff of the year, is going to be extremely happy with Sam Allen and her performance and keeping, that shutout for Binghamton, especially, not having a ton of experience at that position because Garofalo has played, almost every minute of every game.
Buckwalter, chip free by Michaud. And Maine will have possession. Buckwalter gets, pardon me, that was Kroposki who got a piece. Buckwalter played it. Here's Worrell. Garofalo against Rovers. Garofalo now wearing number 29 instead of her usual number 30. Got blood on her jersey in the first half. And so that's what caused the switch. Johnson to throw it in. Reinwald down to the turf, and the whistle against Binghamton. There's the double team. Worrell in there for the Bearcats along with Luke.
Yeah, when you come in from behind like that, it's an easy call for the ref, especially when it's a tackle coming in from behind.
Grisdale to send it for Maine. And that goes wide.
That's an extremely dangerous ball there, right back post. Maine's got to get hungry. If they want to score that goal, they got to have people coming and challenging, and Binghamton's also got to have somebody on that back post ready to clear it. Both teams, I think, have dropped off a little in their eagerness to score, but, you got 20 minutes left in this half, so someone's got to kind of push that momentum. These benches got to get their teammates, energized, and, we got to see some chances here.
Garofalo sends it away. There's that big leg that the Bearcats have been looking for, bouncing to the box, and Berenberg has to go out and play it herself. Luke coming hard. Here's Garofalo.
Yeah. Both teams getting a little sloppy here in their possession. I think nerves are setting in, that eagerness to have to find a goal, right? They got to stay composed, work their way up the field.
This one stays in play. Deflected back. Dungy gets it free. There's the shot stopped by Kessler.
Yeah, noticing on both ends a lot of shots outside the 18-yard box. you got to draw in that defense and have them step before we shoot.
So another chance on Kessler. Both keepers have turned aside everything they faced here tonight.
Yeah, both goalies doing a great job with their feet as well, keeping possession when they need to keep possession, and doing a great job communicating, right, with their center backs on where they need to step and drop, and that's a goalkeeper's job, and I think both goalkeepers tonight are doing a fantastic job.
And as the Bearcats look for some offense, we see Jakaya Davis set to check back in. Laurel bumping for Binghamton. And here's Baker with it. Laurel slides. Baker keeps it alive. Baker. Chip free. Laurel bumps it down. Across. Baker got a piece. Couldn't get it on cage. Here's Krempowski with the header. Martillo didn't have an angle on it. Victoriano comes up for Binghamton. Victoriano. The freshman continues to send that one ahead and swept away out of play. So Binghamton maintains possession. Bernetti got it out of play. Davis trying to check back in. She'll come on.
And what a run there by Victoriano, right? Continuing to push through, trying to find that cross. That's what we need right now from both teams is that aggressive ability to continue to, try to find that goal-scoring opportunity.
So Victoriano to throw in. Davis in for Martillo. Krempowski. Through some traffic to Buckwalter. Here's Victoriano. Across. And that one's off the crossbar. Still alive in front. Davis to Baker, but off of Michaud.
Great scoring opportunity here from Binghamton. They're continuing to push and challenge, and they keep going. They're knocking on that door. Might get one.
Luke trying to continue to knock. Krempowski gets it free and from some distance, but right to Berenberg. Blanco sent it ahead.
Just under 15 minutes here. Both teams really going to want to get that goal. Overtime, it's, a lot of extra, legs and effort and a final push. So both teams are going to want to get that goal before that final whistle blows.
Krempowski ahead to Luke. Buckwalter collecting and offside the call. At what point are we in kind of de facto overtime? Because really at this point, the chances have been so few. The high quality chances have been so few. If someone gets a goal at this point of the game, that might be game, set, match.
Yeah, I think you never know when it gets down to the nitty gritty of these games. It's, it's whoever wants it more. Especially both these teams have been back and forth. It's going to come down to who wants it and who's able to put it in the back of the net. And that could come, in just a spark of a moment, right? Whenever a team gets a chance.
Buckwalter arguing that one went off Johnson, but Maine gets possession.
I think the physicality is going to rise too, as the time ticks. Both teams wanting to fight for the ball and keep possession for their teams.
Luke trying to angle that one to Buckwalter. Krempowski gets just enough to work it to Garofalo. Oh, there's the whistle. Laurel went to play it. So Thornton back up, jogging that one off. See the contact here, top of your screen.
And like I said before, coming in from behind, right, it's an easy call for the ref. So both teams are going to have to avoid that, especially as they get closer to their own goal.
Krempowski Over to Blanco. Davis looking to turn the corner, and she's able to leave 3 Black Bears in her wake. Oh, but a nice play there, getting just enough to halt the advance. Davis trying to get it back. So it's been a good matchup between Davis and Reinwald. Reinwald was the one that broke up that advance. Garofalo sends it ahead. Luke trying to get underneath. It does come free. Buckwalter, a whistle before she could play it. And the Bearcat bench not happy about that whistle.
And that's a few offsides calls for Binghamton. They're going to have to check their shoulder and turn around and make sure, it seems that the Black Bear defense is noticing, right, that the Binghamton offense is trying to step high and they're taking that step to throw them offside. So going to have to be a little more cautious here. And this is the change that Maine is going to do. They're not going to build out from the back anymore. They're going to look to play to their physical side, win headers, win challenges, get the ball forward and in behind Binghamton's back line.
Worrell leapt to try to play it for Binghamton. Krempowski gets it in the air. Garofalo getting an angle on it, and this will bounce out of play.
Yep, and this is what Maine's going to look to do. They're going to look to get in behind Binghamton's back line, play more direct the last 10 minutes.
Andre Palmer in for Thornton. Garofalo looking to thread that one to Davis. Couldn't connect.
Good tackle there by Buckwalter, all ball. That's more of what Bearcats defense needs to.
Buckwalter to Luke. Skips off her foot, catches back up to it, and continues to carry. Davis, not sure she was ready for it. Victoriano.
Yeah, Paige Luke and Jakaya Davis haven't connected yet tonight, but don't count them out, right? They know where each other are going to be, so keep an eye out, right? When they do get that slip in and they do connect, right? It can be extremely dangerous.
And of course, Morel may be heard from as well. That third member of the talented trio up front for Binghamton. Garofalo ahead for Luke. And here is Worrell. Worrell off the foot of Bernetti.
Great defending there by Bernetti. She's kind of that hold for Maine's defense, right? That communicator, the one who's going to make those big tackles in big moments. So great play by her to step up in that moment.
Buckwalter heads over to the corner. And we see Garofalo heading closer to the net. Again, a big physical presence in front. Worrell right on the goal line will now step away. Loose, Davis on it. So Bernetti sweeps it away. Victoriano gets it back. Krempowski back on it for Bingham.
You can see this game is getting a little frantic on both ends. It's going to be a battle in both teams wanting to win, and both teams got to stay composed, right? That's how you score goals, is composure. So it's getting a little frantic, and that's how it's going to be. But both coaches are going to try to get their teams to remain calm and play the way that they know how to play.
Bernetti descended for Maine. Johnson breaks free. A whistle here as Binghamton will get it back. with 7:50 and counting left.
Yeah, and I think as the night goes on, right, and the physicality, right, you know, it's cold. They're fighting to stay warm. They're fighting to stay positive. It's enjoyable, you know, when it starts to get this physical and intense, and the, you know, pressure starts to set in. So I think just that communication, teamwork, trying to remain calm is going to be crucial.
Here's Davis. Trying to turn the corner on Washington. She did, but Palmer able to step up. Or pardon me, Grisdale able to step out. To send it to the far side. Victoriano fighting for that one. And she gets possession back for Binghamton. How about Ellie Victoriano? Some of the effort we've seen from her tonight.
Yeah, great stuff from the freshman. You know, keeping her you know, composure, having fun with it, you know, taking players on. That's, you know, not easy as a freshman in their first big playoff game.
It is Garofalo. In the air.
That's a great ball in from Garofalo, right? Giving her team a chance to let it settle in that, you know, 6-yard box and hopefully find a finish.
Baker on the throw. She goes to Luke and gets bumped from behind by Dungy. Michaud and Krimpaski at midfield. Here's Garofalo to send it. Luke takes it. Worrell backed off, letting Luke take it. Luke and Reinwald coming in the corner. Victoriano in the middle of it again, but this time Maine ball.
Yeah, with about 5 minutes left, right, in the game, I think it's going to come down to who can, you know, get the ball in and around the goal, have those chances, right? You got to push forward. You can't kind of sit back here. You got to press, get the ball, you know, off your foot and into your attacking third.
Once again, the Bearcats trying to get it in the offensive end, but now it's Maine looking to set up in the attacking third. Substitution coming in. Clausel back in for Maine. Johnson heads up.
You know, Maine's going to want to look to at least get something on net here. They haven't had much of an attacking presence this second half, and I think Binghamton has done a little bit of a better job finding those chances. So Maine's going to look to try to get one off in the remainder of this half.
Washington sends it across, knocked around Baker. Worrell has it, stumbling as she takes contact, but continues moving forward. Worrell, what a rush. Across, Luke is there, but the stop still free. Worrell gets it, blocked in front, and now it will head out. No, kept in. Terrific play there. The fresh legs of Clausel kept that one in play. Here's Rovers. Rovers to the turf. Her second collision of the night with Garofalo. Baker. Luke gets it in the air.
And what a play that was by Alexis Worrell to continue to, you know, take the ball down the field, but not only to continue to travel down the field, but to also find that cross, right, to get a chance on goal. And it really shows how much Binghamton wants this here.
Buckwalter. Back to Victoriano. Here's Buckwalter. Well, the second semifinal game in the America East Tournament, currently at the half. Bryant and Vermont tied at 1. Luke able to break free to Davis, but chipped loose.
Binghamton knocking at that doorstep. Maine's got to continue to work on clearing the ball, right? Not letting those chances come in. But, you know, now with a foul, you have with Sophia Garofalo and that big foot to find the attacking third. So we'll look here to see what Binghamton can make of it.
Bernetti with a terrific defensive play. Stepping up to knock it free. Again, though, as you mentioned, a chance here for Binghamton. Garofalo will send it for the Bearcats. Shouldered out of the box. Baker, Buckwalter. Back to Garofalo. And that is going to be Binghamton possession. Buckwalter from the corner.
Maine doing a nice job of defending there, right? It's not easy to defend right in the final 2 minutes of an America East semifinal with a lot of pressure on your plate, and they're doing a good job of making sure it hits the back of the net, but we'll see how this corner goes.
Davis trying to slide between a pair of Black Bears to keep it alive. She's slow in getting up off the turf as it heads out of play. Well, the way they're stretching her out.
It looks to be like a calf cramp.
Those can be painful but temporary.
I think this can be a nice reset for Maine here, right? You know, Binghamton was knocking at the door, so Maine can have a second here to collect and figure out what they need to do to make sure Binghamton doesn't sneak one in these last, minute.
So another look at the play by Worrell. By the way, Davis back up.
Yeah, been a lot of energy. Both teams working really hard, right? There's going to be, some exhaustion, some cramps, some dehydration. So it's going to be, important for all team members to make sure.
Looks like we've got an official's review here. Again, Davis had the contact, or took the contact, stayed on the turf. So you'll see Davis come into your screen, number 3, between a pair of Black Bears. You're the expert, Turi. I don't see a foul there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like much contact. I don't think there'll be anything from the ref. Looks like Davis stepped in to win the ball there, but I didn't see any contact either.
So again, 1:39 left in this second half. No score. Obviously anyone's game at this point. Yes, Bingham top seed, undefeated in America East play this season. Maine, though, the 2-time defending America East champion. Here's another look at what the official's seeing.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer they're going to debate on this, but it doesn't look like a foul to me.
So if we stay scoreless, this game will go to overtime. Again, obviously no tie in the postseason. 2 10-minute overtimes. If we're still tied after those 2 10-minute sessions, we go to a best of 3 penalty kicks. If we are still tied after that, we go round by round. sudden death, so.
Yeah, and I think, both teams are navigating, that pressure of what happens if we go into overtime. How do we find chances? How do we keep, the other team away from our goal and things like that? So a lot of pressure going through these girls' heads about what's coming in these next 20, 25 minutes.
And it is golden goal in overtime, so once we hit overtime, the next goal wins it. I've got a feeling the next goal wins it even if we get it in the next minute 39 seconds.
Yeah, they've changed that rule a few times. I personally enjoy golden goal. I think, when you score in overtime, it should declare a winner. But
Palmer, the freshman, catches up to it. And now Baker knocks it out.
Maine looking to get something here in this last minute.
Davis after it for Binghamton, shipped free. Reinwald hands this one off. Kessler punches that one. It may have hit the crossbar as well as it bounces wide. Under a minute to go. Maine this close.
And that's a great take there to, you have the time and space to shoot, right? Why not, right? You got a minute left in the game, and Binghamton's got to step there, and I'm sure Neil Bhattacharjee is going to let them know that in overtime, right? We can't let them shoot from distance. So same thing, for Maine.
Palmer along the sideline for Maine, keeps it alive. Garofalo with an angle to it, knocks it out of play as Michaud will throw in. 20 seconds left here in the second half. And Garofalo there as well.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So we go to overtime.
Or in that second half, so we'll see if they can carry that momentum, or if Maine has, the ability to turn it around here.
Here's Grisdale. Sends that one ahead.
And, these 10 minutes are going to fly for the players. I mean, when you're in the moment, it feels like they're 2 minutes long. So they're going to be hoping to get something quick here.
That is if it is 10.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure both teams hoping it's not quite 20 minutes, with legs tired and, weather's freezing.
Victoriano sent it to the box. Bouncing near the cage and wide.
Yes, I believe if you come out in the first overtime, you can't come back in the first overtime, but you can come back in the second.
Line drive by Barenberg.
In these overtimes, it's really going to come down to who wants it more. Who's got more energy, who's got more gas left in the tank. And right now, it looks like both teams are fighting for it.
I don't know if anybody's had more energy out there than Allie Victoriano, who is throwing it in for Binghamton.
Yeah, she's been playing, I believe, all 90 minutes, with a lot of energy, has gotten up and down that sideline.
Davis taking an angle on it. Knocked around, out of play, so a corner coming for Binghamton.
And you can hear the fans in the stands here getting excited for this corner kick. It's hard playing away, and I'm sure Maine is kind of feeling that pressure as they have to maintain their focus here on this corner kick.
Buckwalter setting it up for Binghamton. Each team's had a couple of corners. Bernetti able to get that out of danger. Buckwalter racing to it, but getting there first for Maine along the far sideline. I think that was Thornton who got to it. Kessler plays it. Luke got a piece as it comes past midfield. Trying to keep it alive for Binghamton. Thornton sent that ahead.
Yeah, and Maine's got to look to keep possession there, keep their composure and not force things if they want to get a chance on net here.
Borrell to Krimpaski. Slides away from Locius. Here's Buckwalter. Garofalo lines it up. Davis trying to turn the corner on Washington. And Washington boots it away, but out of play. Luke in the corner. Reinwald right there with Luke, gets possession back.
It's going to be Bearcat ball there, I believe. Oh, he's just backing her up.
Battle for it along the far sideline, and a whistle. Victoriano to throw for Binghamton.
Good work by Maine's defense to clear out of that back right corner.
Krimpaski looking for Baker. Baker 1v1, but then 1v2, and that second player for Maine chipping it away. Dungy, here is Garofalo, works it across. Chipped loose in front, off the foot of Worrell and wide. Would have been offside anyway.
Garofalo getting up into that attacking third. You know, you could see how much she wants it, you know, getting up and down the field, trying to find chances for her team.
Official telling Berenberg to drop it.
Already less than 5 minutes here. Like I said, these overtimes go really quick, and Binghamton has had a few chances, so Maine's got to kind of turn that around if they want to stay in this game.
Locius down the sideline. Garofalo keeps it in play. Worrell between a pair of Black Bears. Reinwald trying to carry ahead. Garofalo gets it in the air. Davis able to break free from one, trying to do so through a second. She does ahead. Worrell stepping in. It's offside.
Yeah, that's been a few offside calls on Worrell. She's going to have to check her shoulder, like I said, you know, and not have these chances go to waste for Binghamton.
It was Davis who got through a trio of Black Bears. Buckwalter gets it in the air. Luke trying to play it.
You know, Maine's got a challenge there. Buckwalter had an open header. Maine wants to continue to fight for this game. They got to start putting pressure in the midfield.
Thornton sends it away. There's Locius. Trying to cross over. Garofalo sends this one in front. Kessler out to make the stop.
And just like that, right, the game can change. You know, Binghamton having a few chances and Maine taking the most of their one chance they've had this half.
And here is that chance, top of your screen. Kessler making the stop. Luke able to keep it alive on her feet. And Berenberg catches up to it.
Bernetti looking to take control of the game from the back line and push the ball forward for her attackers.
She's had a nice game on that back line for Maine.
Absolutely. Stayed a steady presence with her communication and her defending.
Buckwalter takes it. Worrell, nice job keeping it alive. Davis, an angle to the ball. Davis works it back. Buckwalter lines it up. Krempowski. 2 minutes to go in this first overtime. Baker knocked around, falls in front. Buckwalter, that one blocked as Buckwalter chases it down. The block by Reinwald.
Might have been Thornton.
Actually,
there.
may have been, pardon me, may have been Thornton, you're right.
Yeah, what a tackle there. That could have easily been a goal-scoring opportunity for Buckwalter had she not slid. And, you know, it shows how bad Maine wants it as well, and they're willing to fight and go to ground and battle for it.
So the corner. Headed up and out of play.
Binghamton definitely controlling the majority of this overtime with multiple chances, right? So Maine's got to, you know, find a way out of this next minute and then, you know, turn it around the second half.
That was Baker on the header for Binghamton. Johnson in for Clausel. Krempowski gets it free, but Johnson plays it. Garofalo didn't quite get the ball on that one. Bearcats with possession.
Looks like it's going to be a yellow card for Garofalo there for kicking the ball after the play. That's that, you know, energy and anger and frustration coming out as you get to these, you know, end of games, whether that be with the ref or the other team. You're going to have that aggression and fight if you're passionate. But yellow card there for kicking the ball away for sure.
Bernetti to send it. Locius couldn't see one across. Still on it. And out of play. Here's Davis, and Bernetti heads it away.
They've got to go. They've got to go.
15 seconds, yep. Reinwald. 9, 8, 7, 6. Garofalo sends it away. It will stay in play. And the first overtime comes to an end, as you mentioned. Binghamton controlling much of the play, but still scoreless here. Going into overtime, number 2. You see Alexis Worrell. She and the rest of the Bearcats will try to break through here in the second overtime, but it's been a slog. We take a look. It's 10 shots for Binghamton, 8 for Maine. 4 shots on goal for Maine, 3 for Binghamton. So those chances on net, oh so precious.
Yeah, and I think Maine's came early in the game when they had a lot of, you know, that momentum like we talked about coming from that previous game against UNH. And so I think Binghamton, you know, is going to want to continue to, you know, keep their momentum, and Maine's going to want to pull from that momentum they had early on in the game.
Well, we'll step aside for a minute. Second overtime coming up. This is the American East semifinal on ESPN+.
Optum Medical Care is here in your neighborhood, delivering quality care that's centered around you. Here for your goals and your glory. Here for your lows and your highs. Here for your milestones and your magic. That's healthy optimism, with top doctors and clinicians offering primary care, pediatrics, and a wide range of specialties. Optum is here for it all.
Overtime number 2. Why not have some drama here in the America East semifinal?
Yeah, why not keep us out here in the cold for a little bit longer? Yeah, these are really exciting moments, and this is what you come to college for, is these moments right here. Comes down to playing for titles, playing for championships, and both teams, eager to get there to that final. So, it's going to come down to this half.
Vermont now on top, by the way, in the 53rd minute, 2-1 over Bryant. 6 field players for Maine and 7 for Binghamton have played the full 100+ now in this America East semifinal. Garofalo with the left foot. Morel chased. And some contact as they both go out of play.
And you can see that energy and effort from Morel there, wanting to go to ground, to keep the ball in for her team, right? And so I think both Maine and Binghamton are going to need to continue to have that energy if they want to win this game.
Blanco back to Garofalo, this time on the ground. And a run to it, Baker works it across, Davis. Here's Krumposki. Buckwalter through traffic, that one free and just out of the reach of Luke. It is Davis, slides this one back, Victoriano to Blanco. Garofalo from distance, gets it in the air. And a big catch by Baron. Guess who? Jakaya Davis was there.
And that was a great service in from Megan Baker, right, to continue to get down that, sideline. And she's been, playing a heck of a game. So I think she's going to continue to hopefully, try to get an assist.
Blanco heads it. Valvo gets it in the air. And Orel had a couple of strong runs in this one. Krumposki works it ahead. Grisdale, again, been a strong effort by her at the center back position. Chipped loose.
A lot of energy coming, from the stands right now for Binghamton. And, that's only going to fuel them, and Maine's got to continue to hold their own and hopefully get a chance for them.
Slow in getting up, Megan Baker, but she is up. We'll see it here, Baker, along with Michaud. Davis settling it.
And you can see how compact Maine is. A lot of people are in front of the box, and that's how they're going to deny Binghamton those shots from distance. So Binghamton's got to continue to get that ball out wide, spread out, Maine's center backs, and that's how they're going to thread the ball in. They've done it before, and they need to do it again if that's what they want to see out of this half.
Bamberg played it, and it goes off Victoriano, out of play. Members of the men's Binghamton soccer team making some noise. Bernetti lines it up.
Plenty of time here to get a goal. You got about 5 minutes left from both sides, and like I said, it comes down to one play, and it's going to come down to who wants and who can get the ball, in their 18, yard box and find a finish. So.
Baker looking for an outlet, and she'll Leave it for Krimpaski. Worrell in the corner along with Johnson, and Maine has possession.
Binghamton's going to want to lock them here in this corner and not let them out. Maine doing a nice job, though.
Garofalo trying to get it free for Binghamton.
Maine doing a great job there to, keep the ball. Not, panic. Stay calm.
Pinette gets it free. Pinette has an empty net. Pinette sends it across, and Maine moves on.